I want to talk about the lessons to be learned from the Black Panther Party that
Yes, sir.
that 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 this generation have never been in touch with, and are intent now on reinventing failure based on the successes that we had.
No doubt.
You
Let's rap
see,
about that. No doubt. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know,
I appreciate you taking us back through memory lane because I've heard some of this while we was on the road and everything, but I know that oftentimes, folks don't, they don't know what to ask for, lack of better words. You know what I'm saying? You told me
mhm,
the story about Dick Gregory and all that before, but
mhm.
it's good to especially on this grand occasion. But yeah, go ahead, brother. Let's let's get back to business.
Well, I think the one place to start is that when a one of the major strategies of repressive regimes and governments and people in power, whenever they are faced with resistance from the oppressed people, from the underclass, from people that they exploit and dominate, they have certain tactics, and one of the tactics that they have is to um, to encapsulate the most militant, the most potentially militant segment of those people, and move them away from their understanding of their own history, their own radical tradition, and then coupled with that is the brute physical removal of leaders that can transmit that type of history and vision. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So besides killing the Malcolm X's and running black folks into exile, that talked about black people defending themselves, and aside from killing black civil rights leaders and black activists, the objective of the power structure was also to co-opt this militancy and encapsulate it and direct it into avenues of reform and avenues of protest that they could manage. That's why if you listen to Malcolm's speech about the original idea of the March on Washington was supposed to be more like black folks' version of January 6th than it
Right.
was, marching down and singing "We Shall Overcome" and getting around the pond and listening to speeches. You see, which is not to say that that event lacks in historical significance at that particular time. It was a historically significant event, but it was an event that was encapsulated and because of so-called potential to shut down the seat of government. That would have been the objective of the most militant workers and activists at that time, was to march on Washington and make them recognize our power, make them recognize that we were people who deserved to have our own self-determination, that if we weren't going to get the type of treatment and the type of services that we deserved and the jobs that we deserved and the rights that we deserved, then we were going to shut down the government.
No doubt.
You see? So that had to be sidetracked. That was encapsulated. So you had the Urban League and the NAACP. You had the integrationists in the South who have been fighting and dying for basic rights and everything. You had them put at the head of I mean, Malcolm talks about it better than me. So we should go listen to Malcolm's speech. I think it was the Ballad of the Bullet. Wasn't that speech?
Right, 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 right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
man. So go
Yes, sir.
revisit the battle. Yeah, revisit the Battle of the Bullet. Spare me, man. So, so what that strategy is taken in every revolutionary struggle around the world. Not only do you have to kill the Amilcar Cabrals or the Edward Mondlanes, not only do you have to kill the Patrice Lumumbas, but you have to reconfigure their whole idea of nationhood. You had to reconfigure their whole idea of who they were as a people to make it conform to the neo-colonial um, um, construct. You see what I'm saying? And they did that with us. You have to kill the leaders of a revolutionary movement in order so that they don't pass on their information and their knowledge and their experience to another generation. This is why where we see where revolutionary nationalist movements were successful The people that were revolutionaries, whether they were the Viet Minh in Vietnam, whether they were Frelimo, whether they were PAIGC in Guinea-Bissau, they didn't get the message that they were supposed to lose. They didn't get that memo.
Right on.